Shalom, shalom. Just gonna give it a quick minute and a little willing we could get into it. All right, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And as you can see, the title of the lesson, it's a trap that won't stop. Okay, it's a trap that won't stop. And I woke up this morning, and I didn't have a lesson in mind. I didn't have like a topic. I was looking for something, and I went on RT News, and I usually go through the articles. I go into different news sites and I see what's happening in the world, what's going on, and so on and so forth. And now what I try to do is not so much, videos on articles per se, because they, regardless of whether it's a credible source, they'll just take it down. So I try to get the information and then put it together and more so in a lesson and just bring out the information. But when I went on the site, I saw a article that mentioned that by the middle, I believe they said by the middle of 2022, so by mid next year, they're gonna need to start issuing out or bringing out new tailored juices or potions, okay, because of the new versions, right? The new versions that are going to be coming out of this this pathogen. They said that the current potions that are available now are not going to be enough. The juice ain't going to taste right, so it's not going to be enough. All right, it's not going to be enough to counteract the new types of problems. Let's just say the new equations that are coming, right? So they're going to need to now start making new solutions, new potions tailored specifically to the new equations, the new problems that are coming, because those problems, the solutions that they have now are not gonna the solutions they have now are for the problems they have now. So right around mid next year, when new problems come in, they're going to need to start giving out new solutions that have been tailored to those problems. And so as I was reading the article, I started thinking in my head, now the head, okay, of the class, right? The class, you know what I mean, the C people, right? The head, she came out and said that the solution they have doesn't solve the problem. All right, if you can understand what I'm saying, since I'm trying to speak in code. They said the solution that they have does not stop the problem, right? So if it does not stop the problem, why are you still trying to teach this solution to everybody, and you're still trying to bring out more solutions next year? And so I thought, and we told people this, that look, it's a trap. That's why I titled the video, it's a trap that won't stop, because this thing, these devils never tell you the end goal. All right, they never tell you the end goal. The same way, you know what they're doing now? They're doing what they did last year with the 2 weeks. Oh, we're only gonna be locked down for 2 weeks. Do you think that in their mind they actually thought they were gonna be down for 2 weeks? No, they planned for much longer than that. But you don't come and tell the people, hey, we're gonna keep you down for almost a year. No, you tell them 2 weeks, and you keep going. And then every 2 weeks, what do? They extended it. That's what they're doing with these solutions now. Okay, they're saying, no, look, you just gotta just solve the first problem, right? Take the first solution, and then take the second solution, and then you'll be fine. Then they come out and say, no, you gotta take a third solution. But hold on, now I gotta go start again from square one with a different problem? Because there's new problems coming in, you now have to start. So now what if they come and tell you that for the new problems that are coming in, the old solutions that you took are not going to work against those problems? So after you've taken the first solution, second solution, booster solution, Now you have to go take another first solution, second solution, booster solution, because this is for a new problem that's coming, you know? And when you think about all this, now it's starting to seem like, well, we know that the solution doesn't solve the problem, but then that leads us to believe that the solution does something else. So the question people should be asking is, well, what does the solution do? That you're still pushing it. There's something that it does, but it's looking like you need to constantly be taking that solution so the process can keep going on. Like there's something that's going on, and it's a trap, and you can't get out of it. That's why we told you, don't take the first, because if you take the first, you're going to take the next. If you take the next, you're going to take what comes after. And see, that's the thing. They don't tell you that there's going to be another problem, that you need a new solution tailored to that problem. They don't tell you that. And then you go and do it thinking, all right, I took the first, second booster, I'm good. Now they say, nope, sorry. Now you have to come take some more. Okay? And then you do that, and all right, I'm good. Can I stop now? Yeah. Just one more. Can I stop now? Now you lost all your power because you took it in the first place. You're stuck in the middle. And that's one thing people would like to deceive themselves. They like to tell themselves, oh, well, whenever I want to stop, I'm going to stop. That's what drug addicts tell themselves and tell others, right? Somebody's an alcoholic or a drug addict, you know what they tell you? I could stop. I could stop when I want to stop. That's what they tell themselves because they can't stop. So you ask them, okay, so when are you going to want to stop? Well, I want to stop when I want to stop. And they never stop. So people that like to tell themselves, oh, well, I'll just do one or two, and when it starts getting crazy, I'm going to stop. You're not going to stop. You're not going to stop, because that's like saying, oh, I'm going to go into the NBA, make all of this money, and with all this money, what are you going to do? You're going to buy nicer houses, which your cost of maintenance for your life is going to be more expensive now. And do you mean to tell me you're just going to stop? And that you've gained over the past whatever? No. So that's what they're doing now. You take the solution and you start gaining things. So it's not as easy to just stop, but it's easier not to get into it, because if you're, let's say, poor, you're used to being poor, you stay like that. That's easier than you going from being poor to better off, or to being rich and then having to lose that. That's the harder part. That's why you people gotta actually use your brains, man. I'm talking to those that walk around thinking that everything is all sweet. You always have to sit back, and the scriptures say, a prudent man looketh into his going. All right, so now I'm going to start off here in the book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 1. It says, hear my voice, O power. In my prayer, preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide, and that's why we ultimately pray to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, to protect us and to preserve us. Because these devils actually have an agenda to depopulate. How do you think they plan to go about depopulating? It's all in their books, the goals and the ways they want to do it. But it's like, it's poison. But I know it's poison, but I don't have an option. Do you really not? It says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. Whatever's going on right now, you can best believe there was a counsel on it before it happened. Because the coordination and the direction that they've been going with this, of course there was a counsel on it before it happened. All right, they had a counsel, and they agreed, all right, what's the best way, the most effective way to warp speed our plans? That can knock down a lot of pieces in one hit. That can give us power and do what we got to do and prepare people, okay, and get them ready. And that's what it's doing. It's getting people ready for what comes next. Not only mentally, but inside their body as well. You have to ask yourself, if this is not doing what they said it was supposed to do, what is it doing? That's the question. It's inside you. There's something that's in your body that they came out and said doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So what is it doing? Because it's clearly doing something that you want it to do. That's why you keep pushing it. But whatever you want is not what you're telling people that it's going to do. So what is it doing to you? That's what people need to ask themselves. And people think that just because something, you don't get a reaction like in the next day or in the next week or in the next month, that everything is all sweet. Some things take time. You know, things take time. And you don't think these devils started through that? If we were to do something that showed effects or reactions, you know, in terms of what we were really trying to hide in the first few months, they know that they can't get everybody to take the solution in the first few months. So obviously they would make sure that if it is gonna do something, they've pushed it back a good while so they can get a good majority of people. But it says here, Psalm 64 verse 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. And who are the main workers of iniquity right now? Esau, Edom. Because they're behind this. Really, the Most High has put the spirit on them, but they're ultimately behind this. They're the ones who are having these crafty counsels, okay, and deciding in their minds, let's do this, let's do that. You could watch. There's a show that came out. It's fairly new. It's called Squid Game, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. So if you decide to watch it, just watch the whole thing, and you'll see what I mean. Dealing with the workers of iniquity and how they, you know, behind the scenes, you know, there's people that are, you know, causing things, right? Whether for their amusement or for their agenda. Verse 3, who whet their sword like a tongue. And when you go into that word wet, it means to sharpen. It says, oh, Slaki, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. Now, who are they shooting at? Verse 4, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. You see? Now think about it, right? If somebody was shooting you, right? Maybe like from the bushes somewhere, and you just keep feeling something hitting you, and you turn around and there's nobody there, and you telling whoever's around you, yo, somebody keeps hitting me, like something keeps hitting me, you know, and they're looking at you like you crazy because they're like, well, we don't see what are you talking about? You know, you're bugging out. You need some rest, okay? Because they don't see whoever is hitting you, and that's really what's happening to these people. Silent weapons for silent wars. They're using silent weapons on these people where they can't detect that they're being hit, you know? And that's why they always desensitize you. That's what they're doing now. They're desensitizing you. You know what? All the commercials and the posters and the billboards and the mandates and the videos and all, you know what that's all about? That's to desensitize you. Because the more you see something around, the more your brain starts to get comfortable with it. Okay? That's how you adjust. So, for example, you may see a chick that when you first see her, you're not crazy, you know, she's not crazy good looking. She's alright. But if she's the only one you see around constantly, eventually she's gonna go from alright to damn, you know what I mean? Yo, what's up with that? Because over time, your brain is starting to get, you know, it starts to eliminate, you know, the negatives, depending on what role she plays in your life. You know, it starts to eliminate the negatives, and then you got to start looking at the positives. Desensitized. So the things like when you go into a room, right? I remember in high school when we would go into like a lab to maybe whatever like experiment they were doing, certain labs, it would have a foul smell because they would be dealing with you know, dead organisms or whatever the case is, right? And you walk past it or you step into that room, instantly you're like, yo, what's that? You know, instantly, you know what I'm saying? But you sit there for a while, and by the time the class period is over and you leave the class, you can't even detect that there's some foul smell in the room anymore. You know, because as you're sitting there, your brain starts to eventually you get desensitized to it. You know, it's not, your sensitivity of that negative smell starts to go down. You build a tolerance to it, and soon it becomes like it's normal. It starts to smell normal. And then when you leave for a while and you come back in, then you smell it again. Like, oh, nah, what's that? You know? So that's what they're doing. They're putting all this out here and showing it to people and this, that, and the third to make you feel like it's normal. Because when you're in the matrix, it's normal to you. It isn't until you're out the matrix that you look at it for what it really is. All right. Now it says, verse 4, Psalm 64:4, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect, and the perfect are the Israelites, but starting with the elect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. There's the trap. And it's a secret trap. So do you think they will come and tell you, hey, by the way, what we're doing is a trap? No, because it's a secret trap. You don't announce that there's a trap somewhere or else it doesn't work. A part of the trap is the secrecy of it. Why do you think when people lay traps for animals in the woods, they put bait, but they like, if it's like a bear trap, they'll like cover it with some leaves or something? Because they're trying to hide the fact that there's a trap there. So their prey can fall into it. So you know what these devils use as their leaves or their hiding factor is their words. Okay? Their smooth words. Their lying deceits. Their, oh, in only 2 weeks, we'll give it back to you. No, you did. No, you won't. And the people stop and look back and say, wait, they did lie. No, they lied. That's exactly what they did. They stood straight to your face and told you a bold-faced lie and turned around and proved that they lied. And they're still lying, and people are saying, okay, and they're just doing it. It says, they commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? But that's the thing. We see them. So now they're upset that we see them. So now comes all these guidelines and these mandates and these community guidelines. You know, misinformation. Since why do you care so much? You know, all of a sudden this misinformation is the biggest threat of the world. It says, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Okay, so before they push this agenda, there's a reason that they throw it so many different ways, because they run simulations in every which way. They try to account for anything that can possibly go wrong. If the people react this way, if they don't react at all, if they give us a reaction we're not looking for. They do all of these things, and they research all of these things, and that's why they have test runs. Okay? They have test runs, and now they can refer back to those test runs and say, oh, look, see, we were through, they won't tell you it's a test run, but through those test runs, we have different solutions. You've been taking solutions all your life. You had to take solutions to do this. You had to take solutions to do that. You know? So what's the big deal about this one? But that's the thing. With this one, you have a lot more people that are being more skeptical about it. But you know what? What you're starting to see is the numbers are dwindling. Because this devil's power is not just deception. All right? But he uses coercion, threats, and the sword ultimately. And you know what? There are a lot of people that are breaking not because they're deceived, but because they're afraid. That's what a lot of people are starting to break from. And I remember I did a video last year, I think around April, and it was titled that there was an article that came out and says over a third of Americans say they're not going to take the solution, right? And the other part of it, of the title that I put, was how many will remain that way, something along those lines. And lo and behold, a lot of people turned around and said, no, 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 we're not going to take it, but now we're taking it. What happened? What changed? You know, what was it? Because those months ago when you said you weren't going to take it, you said that they were trying to deceive you. No, it's a lie, it's this, it's that. Everybody was hopping on it, right? 5G, this, that, and the third. Oh, whoa, we can't trust them. Everybody eyes open, you know, looking binoculars, looking everywhere and all that shit. And now they bring out a few mandates and you see how many are folding, right? Now, from that over a third, that joint is cut down drastically. And do you think it's because they just all of a sudden started to believe these devils? No, it's because they're afraid. They're starting to have doubts. They're starting to have fear. But here's the thing. You would rather, you wouldn't want either, but you'd rather be one that took it and is completely oblivious. If you're going to take it, be one of those that just believes it, that just believes what they say and take it. Don't be somebody that is awake to what's going on and you go and comply either way. Because you're going to be trodden underfoot and you will be had in derision. and your conscience will torment you. Every little thing that happens, you're gonna be shook, because you're gonna. Is it because, is it because judgment starts going around? You start getting shook because you're gonna feel like you didn't have enough faith in the Lord. In essence, you turned your back on the Lord instead of having faith in Him. So whenever judgment goes out, you're gonna be shook. Whenever you feel a little schism inside you, you're gonna be shook because you don't know. You're not sure. But you're gonna have to deal with that. Continuing in verse 5, they say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Verse 7, but the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. That plot twist, there's the plot twist. Suddenly shall they be wounded. Suddenly. Sudden destruction is coming. And it's going to get out of their hands. Because you can try to get everybody, but you're not going to get the Lord's elect. And just when you come to try and touch the Lord's elect, that's when the plot is going to twist. Verse 8, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. And that's what you see going on. A lot of people, insiders, and people are coming out and saying, no, this isn't what it is. You have some scientists and doctors that are saying, no, do it. Some are saying, no, don't do it. Some are coming out with information saying, look, according to this, that, and the third, this is what's going on. You got Project Veritas, that are going around exposing people, exposing some insiders, exposing some workers in certain companies, and the truth is coming out. It's funny because with all that information coming out, people still, and that shows you that it's not about information. It's not about whether they hear it. It's about whether the Spirit of the Lord is on them to comply or to stand firm. Because we've given you all the facts. We've given you the proof. We've given you the scriptures. We've given you everything. But if you still say, nah, I'm down, I'm gonna go step in the trap, even though I know there's a trap there, then ultimately it's just you don't have the Spirit. You're missing the ultimate ingredient, and that's faith, which comes by the Spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. It says here, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And all men shall fear and shall declare the work of God, for they shall wisely consider his doing. And that's what we're doing. Okay? We're considering the doing of the Lord. We know that all this happening is because of the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. But we know the full will, according to the scriptures, of the Lord. And this is only part of the will, that these devils get the upper hand in this stance to do what they have to do. But they're not going to remain on top, because the rest of the will of the Lord is that they get destroyed and that the elect get delivered. Verse 10, the righteous shall be glad in the Lord and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. See, the righteous are going to trust in the Lord. They're not going to trust the signs. Why don't they come out and say trust the Lord? You swear in the Bible this is a God-fearing country. Why don't you come out and say trust God? No, trust Fauci. Trust the science. But don't trust the creator of science. Don't trust the Most High. Trust the science. People are being deceived, man, and this trap is gonna lead a lot of people to their death. Okay, it's gonna put people in a very, very tight position, because, like we keep telling you, it's not gonna stop. This isn't gonna be something that just stops. All right, they're gonna keep on going, and they're gonna keep on pushing it, as we keep on telling you. Now, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. And that's the spirit that we're in. Constantly crying out to the Lord, not to just let these devils continue on to do this BS. Okay? Verse 2, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. And who are the Lord's people? The Israelites. Okay? And what are some of these crafty counsels? Not only the way they've set up the system to oppress us, but the actual plans to accomplish their agenda, which their agenda is to enslave everybody, but mainly they want to get a lot of Israelites. They want to eliminate the elect and enslave the rest. Okay? They want to turn and take away faith out of the earth. Faith in the Most High, they want to eliminate that so that they can be the Most High. Okay? It says, and consulted against thy hidden ones, all right, which is Israel. And we are hidden because for the most part, people don't know, all right, of course we're teaching it, but people don't think of Israelites when they think of Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. When the true Israelites are hidden, all right, and that's why the Lord put the Spirit on us to come out here and to unhide, all right, to bring out the word, to bring out the light, and to shine it, okay, and to uncover all the secrets. Verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So if this is their mindset and this is their agenda, why would you sit there and say, well, he's the devil, but go and do it anyway? You know, you're saying you did it so that we wouldn't be afraid. But hold on a second. What afraid of what? Why we're being warned by the scriptures not to do something, and if we decide not to do it, that doesn't make us afraid. That makes us obedient. That makes us prudent. Okay? That makes us wise. And as a matter of fact, what you should be afraid of is what the Lord is going to do to you. You know? We're not trying to, turn our backs on the Lord. We trust in the Lord. Hey, like the brother's name, GMS, standing firm. That's what we're doing. All right? We're standing firm. It's not about fear. Okay? It's about faith. The Lord is looking for those that have not bowed the knee to Baal. So if you haven't bowed the knee, that means you're standing firm. Verse 5, they have consulted together with one consent. All right, they have breathed together. It is a conspiracy. They are confederate against thee. So they have come together to plan to come against the Lord and the Israelites. Okay, and really to subject the whole world. And they start with their traps. You should know by now, from their contracts to their lies to everything that they do, there's always a trap. There's always a catch. It's never about your well-being. If it was about your well-being, why are there people starving? You know, why are there homeless people? Why are they, if they can kill you in the street in cold blood, they can gun you down in the street with cold blood. The same devils that do that and hold themselves not guilty, right? As it says in Zechariah, who's oppressors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. So if they can do that, same people that enslaved your ass and did all that to you and felt no remorse for it, why do you think that all of a sudden they're just gonna have a change of heart and just they're gonna want your well-being? You know, they want what's best for you. Come on, people. This is Job chapter 20, verse 11. And it says here, his bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust, though wickedness be sweet in his mouth. Okay? These devils love wickedness. They can't go to sleep without doing wickedness. The same way we feel restless when we're not doing the will of the Lord, when we're not doing righteousness, right? We're not doing the work of the Lord. They feel restless when they're not doing wickedness, when they're not, when their plans get delayed, or they get any hindrances, they get upset. They get very restless. Okay? They're very bratty. And as it says, though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue. So he has wicked agendas and wicked plans, but the way he speaks, you'll think that he only cares about you. Because they know how to cover their wickedness. What they do is they know how to make you turn a blind eye. They know how to just sway it right in front of your face. It's here, then it's in this hand, and right in front of your face, they just take it away. You didn't even know it's there. You just can't see it. Because they know how to divert your attention. They know how to confuse you. You know why there's so much confusion going out? Because they can't divert people's attention. So if they can't divert your attention, they'll just confuse you and mislead you, throw you off their trail. Because you're on it, you're looking, people are like, yo, what's going on? Yo, information is coming out that something fishy is going on. So you know what? Throw all the information out. Throw all the information out so people don't know what to believe. All right, they have a lot of tactics that that they use to cover their ass in a lot of different situations. All right, but like I said, when I saw that article, the first thought that just came to mind, which we knew from the beginning, is that it's a trap. It's not gonna stop. They're not gonna stop. And if they are changing people's DNA, then guess what? If they're trying to make you more cyborg, transhumanist, techno, whatever, so that the grain of rice when it comes after can fit perfectly and function perfectly, well then they're doing a good job with these people, because they, in terms of how they're slowly at bringing it and administering it, okay, and trying to get it into people, and people are complying. Now they're saying there's talks about Biden coming out soon to basically say that if you want to travel interstate, right? If you want interstate travel, you got to show proof of things. You know, you got to show that you know the solution. You know, and Fauci came out and said that he's not sure if it's a good idea for people to travel for Christmas. Now, they know that Thanksgiving, Christmas, stuff like that, those holidays, people travel a lot to see family, to gather together, and a lot of people might not live together. So some might go across states. Some might go into different cities. There's going to be a lot of traveling going on, right? So if this demon was to come out and say, yo, you know what? Because of all this, there's going to be a lot of traveling going on, and we don't think it's going to be the best idea. The way to where, instead of prohibiting people from traveling plane, you know, and ruining people's Christmas, we'll just give you the option that if you want to travel this distance, or you want to travel interstate, then you just got to show that you're safe to do it, so you can gather safely. And if you are not safe to do it, well, that's up to you. You want to travel, you know what you have to do. You know, that because the pressure is just going to keep increasing. That's what they're going to do, because it's a trap. All right. So going back to Job 20:13, it says, though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth. And that's why the scriptures say, never trust thine enemy. Because Esau cannot not be wicked. It's impossible. His genetic code has been to be the wicked. So he can't not be wicked. That's why the scriptures say, don't trust your enemy. Because though he may act as though he's changed, or he this, then this, that, and the third, and he's not a threat, he is a threat. But the wicked, that's what he's going to do. He's the devil. He's going to make you think that he's not a threat. Whatever way he can, whatever helps you sleep at night, he'll tell you that, if it'll get him what he wants. Because they don't care about you. You know? So if you go ahead and do what somebody that doesn't care about you, somebody that thinks you're expendable, somebody that looks at you as just cattle or livestock, you go ahead and you listen and do what they say to do, well, then whatever comes upon you, you brought it upon yourself, right? There's a scripture that says, who shall pity a charmer that is bitten by a serpent or a snake? Because you knew, what the hell do snakes do? Of course they eat and all, but what do? You know, there are a lot of venomous snakes out there, right? So if you're charming a snake, you know, you are well aware of the fact that if this snake bites you, you're pretty much done for if you don't get taken care of. But you still are doing it anyway. So when you get bitten, why should somebody pity you? Because the first question is going to be, why the hell were you trying to charm a snake? Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And that's what they do. When they have these Bilderberg meetings and these other meetings where they get together in these councils and they say, look, how are we going to get closer to this agenda this year or the next few months or this, that, and the third? How can we push here? You know, and they devise all these things and they bring it to light because they have the power to do so. Job 9:24. And when you look at the way their contracts are set up, that's a perfect example to show you how they move. You get into a contract. You notice how easy it is to get into a contract? Notice how easy it is for them to get your money? But when it comes time for them to pay you back or for you to leave, that's almost impossible. The fine print is so much information that you don't want to read it. You just click and sign right here. That's how easy it is. When you ask them, what do you have to do? Oh, just sign right here. Now, when you're in it and you want to leave, that's when no, you got to go here. You got to fill this out. You have to pay this amount, and if you do this, then this is gonna happen, and you're gonna be in breach of this part of the contract, section blah 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 blah. And you got to go through hell and above, die and resurrect, do all of these things just so you can leave the contract. And at the end of the day, they'll tell you probably can't leave, and you still got to wait, and you still got to do this. Because the contract was never designed for you to leave, though they told you, yeah, you can leave at any time. They didn't tell you how, though, right? They didn't tell you what they would take from you if you tried to leave, because their contracts are not designed for you to leave. So when they come with something like this is a contract, all right? This is a contract. And that's why Fauci came out and said pretty much that F your rights. He said there comes a time when you have to, he said, being that you're a civilian in society, reaping the benefits of society. What benefits does this society give you? What benefits does he think that you're getting here that he can come out and seem as though like you're just reaping the benefit? I'm sorry, is me the right to breathe and walk around a problem for you? Because he's saying that you're reaping the benefits of society. You have a duty, you owe it to society to, in essence, lose your right to make decisions for yourself in the betterment of society. Would society lose their right in the betterment of me? I don't think so. So what the hell are you talking about? What society? The society that has oppressed us? What are we reaping? We're reaping oppression. So we're mad. So why the hell should we're supposed to give up ourselves for the prosperity of a society so it can continue to oppress us? And Jake will sit there and they won't even think about what he said. Oh, he's right. He's right. We have to sacrifice. It's a noble thing. No, it's not. Get the hell out of here. All right. It's not no noble nothing. These devils, they don't care about that. It's never about that. Okay, it was never about that, man. And when you start falling for their tricks and you don't listen to what they're saying, when we listen to what they say, they drop informations here and there, and the spirit tells us or indicates to us what is coming next, because they come out and say certain things, like him coming out and saying that he's now shifted the ball into rights. He wants you to lose your right to make a decision for yourself in the name of public health. So who's gonna make you lose that right? If you say, no, I don't want to lose that right, he's saying, no, you have to. So who's gonna make you do it? Well, I mean, if you ain't gonna do it, we're gonna have to do it. And what does giving up your right to make decisions for yourself for the betterment of society, what does that look like? See, that's what they never tell you. What does that look? Does that look like you come into my house in the middle of the night and dragging me to an isolation camp? Does that look like you having a gun to my head and telling me, yo, you better do this or da da da? Does that look like threats? Does that look draconian like that? Because that's what it sounds like. But if you ask him, oh, no, it can never, no, that's not what we're going to do. So what are you going to do? Well, at this moment, we're still looking at the data and how long are you going to look at the data and come out with BS? And people sit there and actually watch it and believe it. And people fear to actually think for themselves, because they fear that when they start to think for themselves, the things that they're hearing won't make sense. And if what they're saying won't make sense, you have cognitive dissonance, where people they'll rather tell themselves a lie for things to make sense than to realize that it doesn't make sense, because if it doesn't make sense, they have to do something about it. And people are afraid. They don't want change. They don't want to be uncomfortable. So they'll rather believe a lie if they can just stay asleep and stay the way they are. But hey, at the end of the day, Yahweh Shem El Shai is going to make sure that the elect are okay. Okay? But just keep in mind, always remember that it's a trap. And bear traps, like I used the example before, oh, well, hold on 1 second. I stepped in it, right? I stepped in it, but it's been 2 minutes. You got to open up for me to get out and decide whether I want to keep. No, if your foot gets stuck in that thing, that's it. All right? Unless you get help to pry that shit open, The joint closes on you. That's his job. It's supposed to close on you. All right. And it's not supposed to let go, because the point of the trap is to keep whatever's caught in the trap. Right? If you have fish in the net, why do you think nets are designed that way? Do you think nets are designed for fish to get caught in them, but then they can escape? No, they're designed for fish to get caught in them so they can be taken out the water and used for what whoever caught them wants to use them for. So when they design these traps are not designed for you to escape. The trap is designed for you to stay in the trap, so that whoever set the trap, whenever they're ready, they can come and take your ass out and use you for whatever they want to use you for. And what are the bait? The bait is your freedoms. The bait is your jobs. The bait is the fear. The bait is all of that. Okay? But this thing is a trap, man. And we're not gonna stop telling you that. Of course, now we speaking more in code, but if you don't take heed to the message, man, you're gonna wake up one day and find out that it's too late for you. Okay? It's way too late, and there's nothing you can do, and it's too late. You made the wrong decision. And there's gonna be a whole lot of regret. As the scriptures say, there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. There's gonna be a lot of regret in people's minds, man, because they decided they didn't want to listen. Let's see. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 11, verse 1. It says, "In the Lord I put my trust. How say ye to my soul, flee as a bird to your mountain? For lo, the wicked bend their bow, they make ready their arrow upon the string, that they may privately shoot at the upright in heart." So that's why we're always suspicious of whatever they come out with, because we know that privately there's an agenda behind it. And 10 times out of 10 is not for your benefit. It says, verse 3, "If the foundations be destroyed, what can the righteous do? The Lord is in his holy temple, and the Lord's throne is in heaven. His eyes behold, his eyelids try the children of men. The Lord trieth the righteous," and that's what's happening. It's a trial, okay? A trying of your faith to see what are you made of, okay? It says, where are we at? Oh, "The Lord trieth the righteous, but the wicked and him that loveth violence his soul hateth." And ultimately, the Lord is going to punish the wicked. Okay? But you have to trust that the Lord will preserve you, all right, until the punishing of the wicked. Verse 6, "Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and an horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup." Because ultimately what's going to happen? The missiles are going to fly and destroy this place, and the Lord is going to send his angels back to also help destroy this place and to deliver his elect. Verse 7, "For the righteous Lord loveth righteousness, his countenance doth behold the upright." Okay, so there's a plot twist in this story. Ultimately, the elect are going to be delivered, man. But this thing, as we keep telling you, is a trap. And as time goes on, it will be revealed. No matter how sinister these devils' plans are, and no matter how much they try to hide it, everybody's going to see it, because eventually their plan has to be fulfilled, right? If their plan, which it is to ultimately get that grain of rice into your arm, into your body, guess what? At some point, they're going to have to do it. No matter how much they try to hide it, they want to do their plan, and we're telling you what their plan is. So at some point, they're going to enforce their plan, and you will see it. Oh, shit. They're doing what you guys said they were going to do. Because no matter how much they try to hide it, eventually they have to still end up at the same destination. You can take a different route. You can fly in the air. You can make your car invisible. But where are you going to end up? You're still going to end up at the same destination. And that's the thing. People are too impatient. They're too impatient to sit back and watch. You know, they're too hasty. The scriptures say, "Make not haste in time of trouble." And we're in the beginning of that trouble now, but people are making haste. And that haste is getting people caught up. Instead of sitting back and waiting, the scriptures say in the same chapter, "Ye that fear the Lord, wait upon his mercy." So instead of waiting to see what is the full thing, people are being hasty, and they're going in and they're seeing, yo, shit, it's too late. This is not what I wanted, but it's too late. You're already in it, and you have to now do it. All right. So you know, we got to see what the next few months are going to look like, you know, going into next year. But, you know, this thing doesn't look like it's going to slow down anytime soon. And Lord willing, it doesn't. Lord willing, it just keeps on escalating, because it's not just this thing. You have shortages, which are really aren't shortages. They're manufactured crises. All right. That's what they're doing, because they're trying to think about the movie, The First Purge. They had to manufacture the purge, because when they left it up to be an organic purge, it didn't work that way. So they had to influence it. They had to manufacture it. You know, so if they were just to sit there and say, we're just going to wait for a famine to come, or we're just going to wait for some disease to come in so we can do this. No, they said, we're going to do it. We're going to create it and make it ourselves. If there's no shortages, we're going to make shortages, because we want the result. We want the panic and we want the chaos. All right. So with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. The waterfall, the precepts, the lucky I wasn't able to get to them. I'm going to, you know, Lord willing, try to, you know, do a better job of reading more precepts, because I know brothers be putting some good, real good precepts on there. All right. But Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kudash. Until next time, Shalom.